All right, peace, peace, peace. What up? First and foremost, hopefully the Most High Yahushua is blessing your day. Give all praises to you, the Most High Yahushua. Hope He blesses y'all abundantly. And first and foremost, by His mercies you are consumed. We're alive in the Most High Yahushua's body, and two are naturally alive, man. And I want to revisit something, man, because I'm just finishing up reading the Proverbs 16, and we're just gonna go into it because a lot of people, brothers, sisters, like all over is memorializing the whole Passover and things like that. But I want to, and I was watching a brother Assembly Firstborn. Shout out to him. It was one of the older videos, but classes. But it's important to see like more, even with these things like with the holy days, or 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 whenever like these accounts. So really one, like the brother Akawar said, reading it, reading them, reading the word through Most High Yahushua's perspective, and also too, like, because the whole book is about them, like the witness, the testimony, the gospel, new covenant, but also too, what is he trying to teach us within these things, man? Because honestly, and shout out to brother Samuel Firstborn, because it's kind of similar, that's why Yahushua came in the whole volume of the of the book, man, because what was promised to him was in the what when Satan tempted him, um in Matthew 4, because listen, he didn't want to do that, because listen, he was already promised those things, riches and honor. I mean, a kingdom and riches and honor, man, because he was bringing this to us, like the riches of the kingdom and honor that they came with us. The same thing with what was promised to us in Egypt, man, like the brother Simply Firstborn said, man. But really, we always talk about on here, why because I was looking at Genesis 15 yesterday, and we talked about it the other day. Why did you even think that we went to we went into slavery in Egypt in the first place? One was the will of the Most High Yahushua and the prophecy given to Abraham, but Abram at the time, but Abraham. But also too, man, why do you think that, man? One of the reasons why, I speak as a man, but one of the reasons why he was teaching us humility, that we need him, man. Honestly, man, because that's just what it is, that we need the Most High Yahushua, man. That's it, man. Like that. Let's get this in Hebrews real quick. This is actually what he was teaching us the entire time. Because you don't think because if you read secular history, I think I have it. Where's the book? No, I think I gave it away. But you don't think like the brother Samuel Firstborn said one time, because Joseph was there during the Hyksos dynasty in Egypt. So, but you don't think that the Most High in your house probably purposely made them? Because now let's say this too, because over annals of time, well, it's a balanced type of thing, man. But see, that's where here's where the Most High in your house kicks in. Because one, history a lot of times too, it's like this word, like Joel 1:3 says, passes this word down to your sons and your sons, and to your to your to your descendants, like Job 8:8 says, listen, I pray that this, he's, listen, I pray that, they seek out the book out of their fathers, out of their ancestors. This is the same thing like that. But also, too, because, things get passed down over time. This in history, of course, in the word, outside the word, this in history. But also, too, as well, sometimes things things in history, they get it kind of gets lost. It kind of gets things. It kind of because a lot of times, I was watching the shout out to brother Chronicles of Judah years ago, man. He did on his Patreon. He did a movie breakdown on on the movie 300. But even if you watch the movie 300, one of the things that how nations or other nations get control over nations is controlling their access to information, to history. Because one of the things that I think the guy that plays Xerxes says, listen, burn their records if you watch a movie. So, if you read Second Ezra, that's what happened with us at one point. They burned the law, they burned our records, and Ezra had to rewrite them. So, but that's how it happens. But so that happens a lot of times too. But the point is that you don't think that the Most High Yahushua could have had during Ramesses, or during the Pharaoh at that time, have Joseph come back to his remembrance? Because remember, it said the one that knew not Joseph, but you don't think that was strategically not done, man? Because that's just is what it is. He had that set probably for a reason, man. But he was teaching us humility, that we need him at the end of the day. But let's get to Hebrews 2 and 3, man, because this was really the point, man. Because what did we do after that, man? Which is kind of just wrong, white fat. We felt like all the blessings of everything that we had, we got on our own merit. Um, and we felt like we didn't need the Most High Yahshua anymore. That's why, like, even to this day, we kind of feel like that, man. Shoot, how much in the word too, and even I mean, how much more outside the word, but in the word too, man. That's why, like, the faith and the testimony, the witness, the new covenant is so important, man. Because pretty much that's like because that's the Deuteronomy 6:25 and the Galatians 2:21 and Genesis 15:6. Really, it's the righteousness. It's really the Most High Yahshua that justifies and saves. Now, no, let's get this. Then we're gonna get this after that. We're gonna get this in Exodus real quick, man. We're gonna kind of bounce around. I didn't plan to do this, but let's do it. Hebrews 2:3. It says, how can we, Hebrews 2:3. It says, how can we escape if we neglect great salvation, which at the first began speaking by the Lord, which was confirmed unto us us by them that heard them. So yeah, let's read this again. It's okay, yeah, this is actually talking about kind of Egypt in a sense, but anyway. If you read verse 4, but it is what it is. Hebrews 2:3. How shall we escape if we neglect great salvation, and which at the first began be spoken by the Lord, and which was confirmed unto us by him that heard him. So yeah, let's grab Exodus 15, man, because they are salvation, man. That's why the gospel, the witness, the testimony, new covenant, man, how the Most High Yahshua comes in the volume of the book, believing on them, as the scriptures say, living according to the promises. Of course, then the instruction comes with the law, statute, commandments comes with that. But yeah, man, it's just pretty much, man. It basically summed up. It's the Most High Yahshua justifying you. It's God justifying you, and God and Christ and the Son justifying you, rather than just you justifying you, just by Deuteronomy 6:5. Because listen, he said, listen, that's your righteousness, but that's not me. Nothing wrong with that. But it just is what it is. But but this all ties into Egypt, because listen, that's what we need. Like, even in this Egypt, what we about to, because we really in bondage to sin and death. Ultimately, man, that's really what Yahushua came to free us from. But even naturally, man, we need, like, because why? Don't you know reason why? Like, even set that in Deuteronomy 28 that no man will save thee, because many men will try. Like, because you had the Malcolm X, the Martin Luther Kings, the Marcus Garveys, the Black Panthers, stuff like that. And I'm not even just casting aspersions on those men, man, because during that time, and their viewpoint, they did what was right, like, to them, to help our people, man. They didn't, like, it's on a natural level, because with those, man, that's kind of another thing with them. But that's going to something else. If I really want to go there, how their ties and how they were they were pawns to a degree, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, man. But just in that aspect, man, like they did, they did try to do that, man. But ultimately, man, what, like it's really the Most High Yahshua, man. It's really the faith and believing in them. Because what he's saying, Isaiah 52:3, man, he said, listen, you'll be redeemed without money. Deuteronomy 28, no man will save you, man. Because one, ultimately, sin and death, but just naturally as well, man. So it's all teaching, like, humility, man. And then honor comes in. But let's grab this Exodus 15. It says, Exodus 15, it says, the Lord is my strength and song. He has become my salvation. He is my God, and I will prepare him a habitation, and my father's God, and I will exalt him. So yeah, exactly. He is salvation, man. That's what it is. And what does Yahshua mean? He shall save, he shall deliver, he shall salvation, pretty much, man. So yeah, let's get this to Proverbs 16 real quick, because we're gonna go into this, how humility and honor, man. For it says, better is to be this Proverbs 16:19. It says, better is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly than to divide the spoil with the proud. So see, let's go to that. Let's go, like, to us being humble, man. Especially going into how we need the Most High Yahshua. Like, since we talking about this, Exodus 3:9. It says, Exodus 3:9. It says, now therefore, behold, the cry of the children of Israel is come upon unto me, and I also have seen the oppression wherewith the Egyptians oppressed them. So yeah, Exactly, man. So that's what it was. That's the humble. We realized, okay, we need the Most High Yahushua, man. He had to reintroduce. He had to reintroduce himself to this, to that generation, because he said, listen, I knew your father. Listen, Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. I fooled with them. There was my guys right there. Like, I fooled with them. I don't know y'all like that, but he had to reintroduce himself. Just like same thing with this Egypt. What we about to get into this kind of spiritual Egypt. He had to do the same type of thing, but yeah, man, is what it is right there. But let's go to, so that's where the humility kicked in, man. Then he saved, delivered us, because it's all about what he's teaching you, the principles and what he's teaching you. But then we disavow, then we get the spoil after that, the riches after that humility. But we know what happened after that. We wasn't faithful and we went back, and that's some of doing back to your own lust, to the world and things of nature on the spiritual tip. But and also it's a whole deep thing in that, this whole thing, man, going really deep into that. But because honestly too, and let me say this too, because here's where had to have the understanding too, like that, because because it's easier for us. That's why actually in the morning prayers, it was this was on the morning prayers this morning, that this Romans 15:4, that the scriptures, they are for our learning, man, because it's easy to cast aspersions on them, because because it's written now, but but we never seen that happen, like what the Most High Yahushua did in Egypt. So and also too, it's just natural, because I learned this at the zoo as well, man. But I'm not justifying none of that what they did, but it's really natural, because even brothers that went to prison before know how people get institutionalized and they get only go back to what they're familiar to. Same thing when I was working at the zoo, man. They told me one of my first days when I was working at the zoo years ago. They said, listen, this is my common misconception that and if y'all see in movies and TVs that if animals were one zoo animals were break out, they would just try to go into the wilderness or to the woods. No, he said, listen, usually if an animal were to were to break out of its enclosure, it would try to go back to what's familiar to. So that's what kind of happened, in Egypt with that. That's kind of like having that, not justifying them, because we were wicked and faithless in that, but it's kind of, you had to have that balance, have a nuanced mindset, understand the human spirit. I mean the human psyche, but that's neither here nor there. But yeah, but let me grab this too about Exodus 12 and 36, because here's where the riches came in. Riches and honor here, because let's read this Proverbs 16 again. It says, Proverbs 16 and 19. It says, better is to be of a humble spirit with the lowly, rather than to divide the spoil with the proud. It says, Exodus chapter 12 and 36. It says, and the Lord gave people. And the Lord gave the people favor in the sight of Egyptians, so that they lent unto them which they require, and they spoiled with the Egyptians. So yeah, and we spoiled amongst each other, man, because we were humble at the time. We were humbled at the time, man. We just divide the spoil rather than the proud Egyptians, like Proverbs 16 and 19 went into, man. So notice how that was a humility. What we read Exodus 33, the cry, us being humble, then the honor, then the riches, then the riches came at that. But here's where the honor came, Deuteronomy 7 and 6, the classic, man. It's the same thing that's gonna happen with this Egypt, man. But but here in this one, we're oppressed of sin and death and the devil, man. And Satan, man. That's what Yahushua came to let us free from. But yeah, man. So notice how the humility, we were humble, we cried out. Then later we got the riches, same thing Yahushua was promised, man. It's the same deal, man. But then we got the honor, because it says Deuteronomy chapter 6 and verse 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God, and the Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people upon all unto itself above a special people unto itself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So yeah. Verse 7 and 7, it says, and this is all even why he even chose us, man. I can't speak, I speak as a man, but he was just showing his power. Because look at this. No, I'm gonna read this 6 again. For thou art the holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself above all people that are upon the face of the earth. That was Deuteronomy 7 and 6. Here's verse 7. It says, the Lord hath not set his love upon you, nor chose you, because you were more in number than any people, for ye were the fewest of all people. So yeah. Same thing, man. But yeah, so that's where the honor came in, the riches and the honor came in, but the humility was first when we cried out to him, man. So it's the same type of deal, man. That's why we go into a lot of times casting your care upon him, man, humbling yourself. Then, we're gonna get to let's get this Matthew 23 real quick. Because this all goes to everything what Yahushua went through. But Matthew chapter 23, verse 12, it says, and whosoever shall exalt himself shall be abased, but he that shall humble himself shall be exalted. So exactly, man. So, let's go to Second Esdras 15 real quick, man. Because same thing in this Egypt, man. Because Second Esdras 15 and 11, it says, yeah, exactly. Yep. Because then because he's talking about actual Egypt in this one. Let's see what it says. But Second Esdras 15:11. But I'll bring I'll bring them with a mighty hand, and stretch out arm and smite Egypt with plagues as before. Notice that's as before. So yeah, and I'll destroy all the land thereof. Egypt shall mourn, the foundation shall be smite, and with the plague and punishment that Yahweh shall bring upon it. So yeah, man, this is kind of spiritually Egypt in this sense, man. I know the Revelation, when it says that Revelation 11, that spiritual Sodom and Egypt, that's actually talking about Jerusalem. But in a sense, you can look at this as Egypt again, like Egypt, because man, honestly, man, if you look at it, and we talked about this, I might put this on in the description box. If you look at historically, man, how where technically Memphis is, because I speak as man, Memphis is now where Memphis, Tennessee is the same region where Memphis was in ancient Egypt, man. And in the and the Nile River was the was the most resourceful river in the in Egypt, man. It had the most resources, so that's why the Most High House dried it up. That's just really they were playing chess. That was war tactics. But also too, if you look at the Mississippi River, it's not the biggest, I don't think, but it's the one with the most resources one with the most resources. If you look at rivers in America, the most resources, that's number one. But I'm gonna probably put that up there because I did a little thing on it a while back, a little Google PowerPoint on it, but. Yeah, man, it's just looking at that. But the point being is that, how much more in this Egypt, that we need to do, man. Because honestly, we're in captive to sin and death. But let's get this too, because humility and honor comes with that, man. That's why Proverbs 27 says, "He that waiteth on his master shall be honored." And let's get this First Peter, then we're gonna close out. Yeah, man. So that's just is what it is right there, man. So. And we're oppressed by sin and death, and also to Edom and all the other nations, that's why a lot of times too the ones in the plagues you read in Revelation, man, those are the same ones he did as Egypt. It was really to show you that he's the Lord. They're the Most High Yahshua. They changed not. We're dealing with the same God, but let's get this First Peter. First Peter chapter 5 verse 6, it says, "Humble yourself therefore under the mighty hand of Yahweh, that he may exalt you in due time." So see, the humility then the honor comes, man. That's just what it is, man. Because we had to be humbled, Egypt. Then then the honor came. Same here, now. That's why Yahushua said, "Let's get this Matthew real quick." Had to come as a little child, humble yourself, man. We read it in Matthew 23, but you should be got to come as a little child. Matthew 18. Yeah, exactly. Matthew 18 and verse 33, it says, "And verily I say unto you, except ye be converted and become as little children, ye shall not enter into the kingdom of heaven." Yeah, exactly. But see, an inner kingdom. See, that's when it is in the inward man. That's humility, man. That's the inner kingdom that he said, listen, because the kingdom is within you, right? And also too, what that pleases the Most High Yahshua, what's the one core thing that pleases him? Humility, one, faith, humility, and everything that's in the fruits of the spirit, long suffering, peace, love, joy, temperance, all that stuff, man. So yeah, man. So hopefully this is edifying for y'all brothers and sisters. So yeah, man. That's really one of the key things in Exodus in Egypt, that he was teaching us. Is really It's really like more than like, because listen, then he said this, listen, passes down to your son passes down to generations. It's more than like, just him like, okay, it's more than like, of course, so we could watch The Prince of Egypt, the movie that came out, 1998. Like, you could watch that, or like just tell him like, what he did, but also too, like, what was he teaching us during that whole time, the godly principles, like, and morals, and that he was teaching us, man. So hopefully this is edifying. So yeah, peace.